Well, that put me in pretty good stead with them. Unfortunately, they had arranged for a girl already to stay with them to work for board and room, so I knew that that wasn't open. But I could see that he wanted to help me. And they had to go to Salt Lake the next day. They were going up, as a matter of fact, to see the circus. And so he left me there with the younger children. The older children got to go to the circus. So while they were gone, I tried to figure out what I could fix for their dinner when they came home, because I knew they'd be hungry. And I found they had a bread drawer full of dried bread crusts. So I made a bread pudding, and I looked in the refrigerator for other things to fix. And I just used the leftovers that they had and came home. They really enjoyed the meal, and Dr. Cullimore couldn't get over what could be done with dried bread crusts. And he said, anybody that can make that out of dried bread crusts is something. So he determined that he was going to help me to find a good spot so I could go to school. He had a patient that he was taking care of who had a very bad heart, and her husband was a school teacher. They could not afford to hire anyone to help them, but he figured they might be able to let someone stay there with them and work taking care of her, doing the laundry and the ironing and the other things that she was not able to do, and do this for board and room. So that situation was arranged for me. This was with Deb and Ethel Triegeagle. And Triegeagle.
Triegeagle? What kind of name's that?
Well, that was their name. And I had a very happy quarter of work while I was with them. They would go over the schedule with them. They say, oh, you don't want to take anything from this teacher, no sourpuss. They say, oh, you'd love this one. A very interesting teacher. Make you work, but he's worth it. And so it was a lot of fun to have someone there to go over the schedule and to help. And I was really grateful to them and had a very nice time. But unfortunately, as the quarter was coming to a close at the time of the holidays, Ethel got much worse, and she had to have somebody with her around the clock. Well, of course, if I was going to go to school, I couldn't do that, and so they had to move in with her folks. And there went my lovely situation. It was very hard for me to do that because we'd gotten along so wonderfully well. But I figured that I would go in. I knew by this time that the Dean of Women took care of the calls for people that wanted girls to work for board and room. So I went in to see the Dean of Women. She happened to be right next door to where I was working in the medical office. I don't suppose I even mentioned how I got that job. Of course, that was directly through Dr. Cullimore, though I didn't know it. But in any case, she found another place for me, but it was not the happy spot like that I'd had before.